do you like my faction accessory? Always here for you. It's not like I have a choice.
Exactly at the predicted accordance. Excavator. A bigger make size.
Are you going to be a problem? Because I have a solution that requires...
Halt! Don't know who you all are, but unexpected guests are categorically unwelcome here. How'd you even find this place? Maybe I should just shoot you and glean details from your logs.
Ah, Exemplar, if I may. Surely you recognize such a
I can't recall if I ended whoever came up with that name. Surely hope so.
You were head causality intercessor of the Department of...
More or less.
Well, what a fortuitous alignment of low probability events this is. Our efforts here are based on your former department. You should confer with Anchorus Brunn straight away.
We actually sought to find you and others of your program, Intercessor Delgado. A serendipitous event, you arriving. Assuming you'll vouchsafe for your colleagues, you may...
Welcome to Point Obviation.
Anchorus Brunn is continuing Anais' research from Winter's Grasp. I'm sure of it. Best play along for now, until we can ascertain the best course of action.
She's got the right of it. There's far too many guards for us to take on alone.
No, is that Marisol?
The Endpoint herself. I thought she was a myth.
Let's be on our best behavior. Don't even breathe. This experiment seems a mite controversial, dangerous even, both in a physical and mathematical sense.
Your job is intimidation, not risk assessment. The Anchoress knows what she's doing.
Of course. Forgive me. I will look to them as a source of comfort rather than...
Look, everyone! It's the Endpoint. Come to join us, I take it.
I do have a unique interest in what you all are doing here.
I am a long-time vocal exponent of your work, Intercessor Delgado. I hope you don't mind me saying. Go on up. You're expected.
Doubt the Anchoress will walk away from the research lightly. May require some aggressive convincing.
Yeah.
Who's this? Oh, yes, I remember you. We met earlier at the site of my former seclusion. If I recall correctly, you helped prove Anchorus Chow's argument that violence is sometimes necessary. I admit I understand your actions led to Sia Wiley's and as for you, I've been an impressive body of work.
Less so over time. There were too many pesky repercussions
Yes, well, to what do we owe the pleasure? Are you familiar with our goals? Come to join up, perhaps, or should I say re-enlist? It was more of a disputation as a scholarly objection than a manifesto per se, but why quibble? You saw the disputation, though. Tell me, what did you think? You read it, yes? A truly unfortunate accident. I had posted my disputation and staked. We try to honor her loss. Such tragedy only underlines the importance. Each day the equation remains unsolved. Countless more tragedies occur. We must succeed at the... Surely you're aware of the myriad errors of our current presiding bishop and previous regime. One of whom shut down the division that operated here. Our sect aims to end human suffering, sooner than later. We've taken great to solve the universal equation in our lifetime requires bold action, clever calculation, and assiduous work. Yes, we have Grace, that is Exemplar Southworth, to thank for that. Her visits to the Anchorhold were quite thought. Bujold's thinking was unconventional, ahead of her time. Why, in fact, she's here with us now today.
Oh, really? Seer Bujold is here, at present, in this facility? The one we're presently standing in?
Not long at all. We reached out to... If you thought her work before was captivating, the intent is to represent the building blocks of the universe within a test chamber.
Sounds like it could change
Why, you should go see for yourself. As former colleagues, I'm sure you'd like to reacquaint. Yes, she's monitoring the experiment. I'll have elevator access unlocked so you can join her. Do please... We'll speak further after you check over Sia Bujold's work and the experiment concludes. Oh, so exciting.
How much longer do you predict preparations will take?
Almost ready. Perfect timing for my former colleague to peer review my work. I'll press them to verify my settings. Head Intercessor Delgado. What an opportune time.
What in the endless void are you?
Shh. Comms off, but others are near. I need your aid before this ridiculous affair careens into disaster. Can I rely on you this time? Or will you already intend on scurrying away again? I came to derail this line of inquiry in such a discommodious way that no one would ever for all the aforementioned reasons of it likely causing, or at least queuing up and leading to, the end of... You chose to leave me behind. Again. So when they came calling, I thought it an opportunity to sort it all myself. Yet, admittedly,
this shouldn't be your burden.
You don't get to decide that, or adjudicate, or coolly comment in a steely growl. Not falling for that a 10th time. Help, or stay out of my way. You don't remember us discussing this before Winter's Grasp? Too many competing crises, I guess. A means of sidestepping much of what's presumed required to solve the universal equation.
The idea was, theoretically, it would hurry the process along, so the equation could be solved in our lifetime.
Since then, I calculated what might occur if my work was completed. And there's a big chance of subsequent events leading to a universal end.
When we destroyed the original copies of her research at Winter's Grasp, I discovered someone else was continuing her work, which led us...
The test involves 4 stations. Each represents one of the fundamental building blocks of the universe. Zeranium gas, macro-ivs. That test chamber is where all are meant to mix. To simulate a mini-universe I can apply my theories to, pull data from, and deduce. We know what happens if that's successful. So I need you to muck with each station's settings, then initiate the experiment. Thank you. All you need to do is adjust each station's settings slightly.
Yes, if we alter the experiment input data in a less than
The guards on the 2nd floor won't appreciate visitors, so avoid getting spotted. Here's a maintenance key. It's only the fate of the galaxy riding on it, so perhaps try to get
Hostile ahead. What's the play, Commander? intentions. Be careful. Hostile in proximity.
What the? Something wrong back there? Hello?
Imagine that'll do. should do it. That should do it. Imagine that'll do it.
If you're done, evaluating my work and all settings are final, enter the terminal command to void the oxygen.
Did it work? Did it work?
Hold the applause just yet. I need to run the numbers.
I shall await their arrival. Ancrus.
The results of the experiment will be a career-ending embarrassment for...
Yes, our next steps here will be crucial. I know this type of mission well. Granted, my targets...
You'll need to convince her. Destroy her logic. End this research for... All it requires is a forceful array of incisive argumentation.
You mean one of our old brain-off maneuver? That's what the rank and file in our old department used to call it. Provost Bolding considered it a casual moniker.
Make Brunn give up on science, logic, and reason entirely. Then no one will ever dare continue the research again. Between you and Marisol, it should be...
A brain-off against an Order anchorite isn't entirely without risk. We could employ certain other...
Oh, yes, a book you wrote titled Making an Execution Look Like an Accident. Despite the moral quandary ideally involved.
That's hyperbolic at best. Data suggests significantly fewer unpredicted outcomes than outright murder, if properly executed.
And here I thought you'd begun to change.
Seen folk wrestle with logic, but not box with logic. I'm ready for a show.
Seems reasonable. Appreciate you listening.
Honestly, I'm relieved as well. I am.
From the legend? If you're retiring as the endpoint, we'll need to find you a typical argumentation may prove useless. But in the event you should fail, the Anchorus is housed in a test chamber similar to this one. It's been refurbished with some rather tacky furniture, but much of the old experiment. There is a hatch near the elevator upstairs. An external ledge leads to a vent system that can connect. I'll need to make an announcement afterward.
For an extemporaneous plan, it's not a bad one.
I'll cut off her comms when she begins pleading. Oh, that sounds even more hard. Here's the hatch key in case you need it. And Marisol, do keep out of trouble.
There you are. You saw the experiment through to the end, yes? The data hasn't... Or perhaps I oughtn't have recloistered myself till after the experiment concluded, Well, don't just stand there. Tell me everything. Some issues? You seem like softening the blow. Was there a malfunction? Wait. Let's start from the beginning. Step me through your understanding of what's gone awry. Really? In what way? These are all fundamental building blocks of the universe. Together, they form the This was just a start. It simply needs to be revised and refined. You certainly seem to be making a lot out of this, though, one must say. I'd miss her skepticalness and insight. Look, there may be some validity to some of your points, yes. But we'll improve. We will continue to stride forward. There's absolutely no need for all this doom and gloom. Oh, is one of you a seer now? Because I put considerable more stock in the prognostications of the audit. Now, is that all? Because I think I've had enough of all this. Everything we've done here is built off Seer Bujold's research, which is quite brilliant. Now you've resorted to lying just to be hurtful. I've seen it before, and I understand you must... The experiment data just arrived in my terminal. There was some variance to the input data. Not far beyond acceptable parameters, but curious. Could explain the failure. Oh, come. One bad test wouldn't mean... I fear this was a...
If I may, I have a point I'd like to add. There's a critical flaw in Seer Bujold's... Time flies like an arrow. I much appreciate this jest. Very simple, yet clever. Because in English, the word like can mean similar to or I prefer. And flies can be to soar. Through this perspective, it functions, makes sense, is humorous. The framework we interpret the statement from changes, thus rendering it
It lacks context. When you extrapolate the data from the mini-universe to the... This has been a difficult conversation.
We tried. Our fallback plans are own...
What was that? You're starting to worry me. What do you intend to do?
you know, it had been recently refurbished as an enclosure for Ankaris Brun. She gave her life for science. Well, it's true that we found the related research deeply flawed, but she gave her life for the pursuit of science. As the experiment was a colossal failure, I, as senior scientist remaining, have determined we must abandon this inquiry and shut down the program immediately. Oh, such a terrible shame. Farewell!
Lovely day for a coup, dear. The only surprise about the Protectorate's consul usurping may all...
I understand now why they say never meet your heroes, Intercessor Delgado. A key experiment fails and Ankaris Brun falls prey to an unfortunate accident.
That's circumstantial and more than a mite bit paranoid. I expect better from an Order scientician.
Don't think I don't see your handprints all over this, Delgado. Don't try to lay the responsibility for this on me. I'm not buying it. The Ankaris, poor trusting soul that she was, may have believed you were here in good faith, but I don't. You're looking more and more like enemies to me. The Ankaris I'm well versed in manipulative prevarication from feckless mutineers. Try again. Or try facing a gauntlet of well-trained exemplars. I could always choose for you. Are you done? I know you're to blame. I just want fellow exemplars of the Order.
Scoping out a hostile.
Would not refuse medical support.
For a medic. Happy to help. History. Out of sight and on the way.
Thank you. Reacquiring target.
I'll be aiding!
Yeah.
Mobilizing. Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Energy transmitter deployed for battle. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Mobilization in progress. Locking them down. I have a fix on their weaknesses. Reviving me is in everyone's best interests. Thank you. Activating energy transmitter.
Combat resumed. Obviating.
Look who it is. The legendary former head intercessor of the Order, Say. You tried to do right before you did what you must. I appreciate it, the attempt.
The credit or blame belongs to the commander here.
You forget I know you. You always thought you knew better. No one could ever convince you.
There are a few things I'm still not used to saying.
At any rate, I'm off. You all take before I forget.
Oh, thank you, Anais. Goodbye. Oh, Brunn obviously murdered her. Thought you knew that. Perhaps it was an accident. Perhaps she simply wanted to not, or not. Indefinite immurement isn't for everyone. Even the finest, but her canned, feigned concern about Chow, how she kept changing the subject, both belied an underlying sense of guilt to me. Oh, not really. Not yet, at any rate.
Might take some time for Marisol to see yet, but I reckon this was the best possible.
Commander, it's customary to... I've had some time to cogitate over what occurred at Point Obviation. Some parts don't sit right with me still. A bit, yes. With the work I used to do, I'm no stranger to guilt and regret. Midway into my requisite sleep cycle is when it usually... We could have done better by Ankress Brunn. If we'd properly convinced her to abandon the research, and yet, such actions were par for the course for me in the past. When my remorse for Brunn rears its head, it will need to get in line. Yes, Southworth was complicit. And now she's dead. I hope so, at least. According to Anais, we could have reduced the likelihood of that occurring by completing the brain-off. It's not anywhere near zero, but it's unlikely. She seemed pleased that we at least attempted to address her concerns, so I've changed, apparently. Thanks to you. It's been a while since anyone gave me a good talking to like Anais did. I'm pleased with the path I'm on now. I didn't think this is what appreciate you taking.
Any friend of the libations or information? What's your poison? Always. For example, there's some kind of hoity-toity collector type parked upstairs. Aside from irritating me, I've been making it my business not to know. He may stay so long as he doesn't cause real strife.
Run along now. I've spent more than enough time entertaining wayward sprats.
How's that lone subject of yours working out? Ran screaming back to the Protectorate yet?
No, it's going a little too well, if I'm honest. I think the freedom of what we do here might have gone to her head. First taste of the freedom bought with her ill-gotten bits. Now she can't stop. She's moved 22 crates of contraband in the last week.
22. That's more than I had in 3 months. She's making us both look.
Garment's here. Come, I might not know what... If you're in need of sprucing up the old wardrobe, my gear has the fewest holes out of any clothes on station for your money.
You lost it. I'm selling it. Only thing dependable as my gear are my prices. Tell me what you need.
Blades, bludgeons, bombs, blunderbusses. We've got it all. Except that last one.
Anybody even listening to this? Hello once more. I guarantee you, when untaken. I never intended to be. But when, like, my contraptions don't explode no more. Honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Meals currently sold with both salt and pepper. Available today only.
Cyber Protectorate. Join our One thing I do like a lot.
Bye from me. To tell your fellows about my...
It's you. Did you ever find Augustine? I see. Do you know where she is now? She did come here. I'm unsure how she found me. She just looked at me for a long time, then told me about what happened to Victor. Then she thanked me and left. And that was that. I don't fancy speaking on it. Not that there's anything more to say. Well, before the console took over, my biggest problem there was avoiding Auntie's choice workers trying to sell me... things. Or get me to move to Fairfield. It was easier to avoid any random protectorate, but after what happened to the Sovereign, I became frightened. I started working for Sub Rosa, as unbelievable as that is. Even to me.
Tired of firearms that explode in your face? Come to not a weapon.
Greetings! How has the data collection fared? Finally, a breakthrough! Let's hear it. How did the ACS free market meet its end? It sounds like Auntie's choice security measures leave some... Aside from the crash, what occurred in the ship's final moments? Considering the ship's fate, it would appear that... Last question. Were there any contributing factors to the crash? Anything that might recontextualize what actually happened? Scuttling an entire freighter. Thanks to you, my report is complete. Here, something for your considerable help. Auntie's choice seems to be inundated with its own problems, technical and personnel alike. We should have ample opportunity to use this for propaganda purposes. You should have said so. Now I need to get this report to my...
You have my thanks. My monitoring station is all... Such good work definitely deserves a reward. That is most unfortunate.
I always find I work best when undistracted. One could say I find the cultist at Newton quite the... Now, how might we be of use to one another? Is the one you first arrived here with among them, I wonder? Rude enough to ask, but one never knows. You've proven yourself well, but we have recently experienced a pivotally important, unforeseen development. One of the satellites comprising the Hyperion web was struck by a wayward craft and crashed on Paradise Island. I hope your zeal is properly placed. The Protectorate soldiers guarding the crash site are... I cannot say how that might be accomplished, unfortunately. Some of our scholars find answers to their solutions at the caf. Collect the data from the crashed site and return it here.
Miss Doyle's still on her break, but I'm happy to assist.
If it isn't my favorite collaborator. I thought I said we shouldn't be seen. You did sharpen my pencil. I'll put in a word with my associates to pass along to whatever Protectorate forces are on site to expect you. It's no guarantee. In exchange for my help, however, I want you to bring the data back here so that I can make a copy of it. Before you hand it over to the Order, to be clear. Do we have an accord? We do work. Return here when you have...
Yeah. Yeah.
Energy transmitter active. Combatant scan.
Go for torpification.
Check your scopes for combatant analysis. Hostilities are afoot. Combatant scanned. Transmitter down over here. I have a fix on their weaknesses.
Why choose just any choice when you can choose?
Got my lamps on a hot.
Yeah.
seen these before. It's a Protectorate vestige, which means none of their troops made it out alive. If we want in, we'll need to gather all their armorial IDs.
Back in business. Energy transmitter out. Soak up the shock. Target analyzed.
Looks like we have a few hungry friends joining us. Keep your finger on the trigger.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Activating.
See? That wasn't so bad.
Investigating hostile intentions. Check your scope for combat. Energy transmitter active.
Damn it. We could climb up the shaft faster than this.
Yeah. Proceeding to attack.
Put these boys to death. Anything else the universe wants to throw at us while we're here?
Grievous wounds. At least one of my lungs meets the open air. LaRue fell swiftly. Screamed for me to help, but if I had remained to aid her, the mission would be at its end. The mission which is now doomed regardless. I arrived here to find the controls non-functional. Since my weapon delivers magnetically contained electric charges, I inserted it into a conduit hoping it would spring to life. But there are no power controls. Deteriorated. I wish I could have been relieved. But in my heart of hearts, I wished my love to live. Despite her traitorism. My darling, I am sorry. But were you here, I would use the last of my strength to slay you. Our feelings are not even a candle to the incandescent love of the Sovereign. Our blood...
those war-bred monstrosities, but this facility is overrun. We must pull back. Return with no less than a support battery.
Wardens do not retreat, nor take any ignoble action. I shall excuse your cowardice by way of shock. Whether we are destined to succeed or die, we shall do what is required of us. We will not falter. Marchand, make a duplicate of our field recording, in the event we don't survive.
Greetings. Something new to report? Oh, allow me. They all look to be no less worse for wear. I must say, this exchange of goods and...
Our Halt there. You match the description of the technician we have been vigilantly awaiting, but as they say, present yourself, so that I may take the measure of you. What? Spare me your technical argot and... Finished already?
Oh, we're definitely bringing this back to the ship. Old thing could use a touch of melodrama.
you believe Arcadia shall ever return to? The paradigm is a self-centered yeah.
people are gonna start to talk. Aren't you reliable? There. Was there anything else you wish to discuss? No need to wait for permission. Ask them. My left pinky feel... All jesting aside, no. I learned I was assigned to the Order as a girl, but never... Then this... If I had to theorize... So
I look forward now. How might we be of use to one? Yes! Excellent! Don't tell anyone about that outburst, please. Here's something to keep you quiet. I must admit I first had doubts, due to your association with a cultist. But yes, you've earned not only my trust, but the Order's as well. I've informed the presiding bishop you're coming to speak with her. She can be found in the room. I'm sure I don't need to say this. But if you even think about...
Good to see you again. I had hoped we could speak earlier, but no matter. Since the unfortunate end of the peace talks, Gertie and I have kept in communication. When you go in to speak with the presiding bishop, please raise the issue with her. I assure you this is the correct thing to do. For yourself, for us. Farewell. I would say...
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now, with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. Faith is trust without evidence. Now then, I gather you already know who I am, but science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships. I am Ruth Bassar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant, supreme calculator, and, plan willing, the architect of Arcadia's prosperous future, my sensory deprivation chamber. I spend the majority of my days closed inside the silence, dulling myself. It's a rather personal apparatus, customized to my biological measurements. Would you ask to try on a string? Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station. Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. If your actions were so easily imitable, then we would not. However, there's something of even greater. I just received the most curious transmission from Auntie Cleo. She wishes to discuss a partnership of sorts, and I heard you were the source of this plot. I must admit I have significant doubts about colluding with an entity like...
Simply put, we got the troops, the firepower, and the know-how to beat the Protectorate. Respectfully,
military support loses its usefulness quickly in times of peace. It is that which gives me pause, among other concerns. Wise enough to recognize the perils, too. Auntie Cleo has already proposed a secure conference room on board the Undisputed Claim for our use. I will await your...
Failed to cite her work completely. I worked with presiding Bishop Orlo, you know. Now there...
The plan is always in motion. Much like you, it would seem. Call it proof. Laplace's garden is more than its aesthetic. It saddens me to see the garden so despoiled by our wartime presence. Oh, the Laureate Council simply draws a name out of a hat. No, in reality, I was recommended for my position by the preceding bishop. Paired with my skills as a seer, I was the natural choice when it came time for the council to vote. My predecessor, presiding bishop, I counted him a friend. Orlo shared with me, likely not. But it is, may you achieve...
Something down there?
Be the statistical exception to the natural state of entropy.
The story of Auntie Cleo versus the Moon Man is a ballad for our ages. A thing of legend to be handed down for a modest fee to each successive generation. Spacer's choice swollen.
Who it is, the instigator of this little affair. Her mathematicalness should be along soon, unless the leader of the Order's too busy crunching numbers to attend to business. There we are. Apologies for the delay. We were resolving some technical issues. Cloister's atmosphere has a tendency to... Oh, yes! Regale us with a thorough account of Cloister's atmosphere. Spare no detail. This must be Auntie Cleo's trademark wit. I expected better. If I was discourteous, I apologize. So long as our mediator proves up to the task, surely we can remain civil. If not, these negotiations may prove short indeed. From where I'm positioned, I sense 3 sore points still in need of massage. Point 1, control of the archive. Point 2, oversight of production and distribution of skip cores. And point 3, management of Rift technology. Before we go any further, I want it in writing that the Order will take full control of the archive without interference from Auntie's choice. What? So the Order can set it fruitlessly idling for another few centuries? We would put it to far more practical use. Imagine the marketing strategies it could develop. I would sever my own hand before giving custody of the archive over to a corporation. Humanity's ascension depends on its calculations. No. Such a condition is out of the question. Not completely sure you can convince me that Auntie's Choice benefits from receiving zero access to that wondrous little doodad. Oh, kindly enlighten me on precisely what those greater gains would be. Don't allow my carefree demeanor to deceive you, because I will not be made of— The Order is pleased to Yes, the Order can keep their contraption, but the management of skip drives should be— No one understands production like we do. Besides which, we have far more experience using skip drive. Where Auntie's Choice manages, the Order would undoubtedly excel. Do not— So you ramp up production? And then what? We would be diligent about who we licensed out the skip drives to. And a monopoly over space travel is precisely what I wish to avoid. This technology should benefit all humanity. Correctly ascertained. I disagree completely. Just look at how well the Order protected its own assets. Remember Golden Ridge, the Archive? Besides, the Order will inevitably leave money on the table. Pull my other leg. If Auntie's Choice doesn't make a profit from it, I literally couldn't care less. Well, I never accept a deal I don't like, and we can end these negotiations at any time, you know. It seems Auntie's Choice stands Evidently, we have hit an impasse. And you have disappointed me immeasurably. Do not come to the— I estimate this thriftless little misadventure has cost— Seeing how you've proven yourself worth—
Don't feel bad, Commander. Despite our best efforts, I'd estimate it only—
The story of Auntie Cleo versus the Moon Man is a ballad for our ages. A thing of legend, to be handed down for a modest fee to each successive generation. Spacer's Choice swollen-headed mascot represents the worst impulses of all corporations, who unfairly stack the deck against the little person, as they tried with us in Tau Ceti. But did Auntie Cleo take Spacer's Choice devious shenanigans lying down? No! Just like our sponsored Tossball team, the Auntie Cleo's darlings refused to do what things were down at the end of the sponsorship series against the Spacers Chosen.
I'm Jean Turfer Tyler, sixth base person for the Anti-Cleo's Darlings. I cleaved Spacers Chosen's goalie at the end of the 56th inning, then made a Sunday goal to win the game. Whenever I see that Moon Man's grinning face, I want to cleave it in twain. Auntie's Choice! Darlings! We won! Hostile takeover this! Right back at you!
I'm Auntie Cleo, and I endorse this message. Attention, valued employees. Auntie here to brighten your workday with a report on just how much money you're taught. Netting us.
We took what nature heedlessly assembled and thusly rebetted it from artificial means and This must be Auntie Cleo's trick. If I was discourteous, I apologize. From point 1, control of the Ark. Before what? I would sever my own hand before giving custody. I am amenable to that proposition. Less work on... I'm waiting to hear an argument that would support such a ludicrous proposal. No one said anything about paying. Involving money in science seems questionable. Ruth, I commend you for being so receptive. And I assure you that Auntie's choice on the subject of science, it would be no one understands where Auntie's choice. So we would be diligent about who we licensed out the skip drives to. And a monopoly over space travel is precisely what I wish to avoid. This technology should benefit all humanity. Exactly. I will want to run some calculations to be... There is still the question of who takes possession. Although the science is still... The Order would fritter away valuable time endlessly hand-wringing what to do with the technology. Auntie's choice would actually use it. For good, of course. In a gainful manner. A 50-50 split? But that's so... equal. I generally consider anything... If Ruth's open... I shall look forward to There is one final matter I wish to discuss. I require some chemicals that I have been told are manufactured at a plant on Praetor, controlled... I know which plant you're referring to, Ruth. Out of professional curiosity, what could you possibly need with such... That is, quite frankly, none of your concern. Precisely. Partners don't withhold secrets, although they can and probably should withhold. I will make no progress with my request without further. While the archive is an infinitely complex machine, an equally complex apparatus has been designed which allows one to interact with it directly. Brain to lock. Unfortunately, this headgear exacts a rather tremendous cost on the wearer. A certain panacea is needed to survive it. But I require these chemicals to finish it. Certainly. And I thought we were the ones who threw caution to the wind. A generous offer. But I fear you lack a certain number of qualifications. Conscience, for example. I did not anticipate needing to fight for my own physical autonomy. Oh, how it's delightful to... Best I'll say is today's outcome is... workable. Arriving at any arrangement, even remotely equitable, was statistically improbable. Be glad our mediator managed to find... As am I. Well, that'll be all for today. Don't forget to purchase the latest in Auntie's choice. And do come see me personally when you have time. One moment. There are still the logistics of recapturing the archive to consider. We'll, of course, provide our expert troops to support these efforts. Have your people call my... Brusque as ever. Auntie's troopers will certainly help us manage the Protectorate forces easier, but it would be irrational to expect you to endanger your own life without a more specific strategy in place. Fortunately, I have all... First, Order forces must move into our former headquarters at Spyreton. A simpler task now that you have liberated it. By all accounts, you thoroughly routed the... More importantly, there is a lift located in Spyreton which can deliver. Unlocking and calling that lift can only be done from within the archive, however. So fortunately, I am told you already dealt with the cultists there. Unfortunately, ordinarily I do not fancy surprises with such a device in hand. And perhaps at some later date, you will also permit our scientists to analyze this gadget at length in one of our labs. There is a computronical key that you will also need to locate within the archive called the Calcaduceus. The Calcaduceus grants special access to the archive. Once it is back in Order hands, we will have full control over its systems once. Until the Order has control over the Archive again, this discussion... May you achieve progress.
That was some damn fine intermediation, Commander. You might just have a future in finance. You know, after Anti and the Order trounce the Protectorate.